Hello.
We're live! But my crown is not on yet.
Welcome to another unauthorized and rum-fueled treasure hunt in the sharky waters around Gatsby Island. No.
Are you going to introduce us? Ola? Ola?
Sorry, I had to turn my YouTube sound off.
We are super pro over here. Okay.
It's just me. Don't worry. With Gatsby Deep Diving Queen Raae!
Woo!
And her Nattermob pirates, Paul the Navigator.
Hello.
AK.
I ain't got my shit together yet. Hello.
And me, Ura, just the pirates.
Well, I just gave AK a nickname, so she's now the ruler of the chat.
Yes.
So, what are we up to today, Paul?
Yeah.
You know very well what we're up to.
So I'm going to
hear this. Can I deafen myself?
Read the overview, because I'm sure everyone's dying to know.
So
I feel like we should put a banner up saying that there's going to be a warning. Explicit content. This should not be tried at home. If you're particularly sensitive, don't watch this.
That's right. Linta will kick in and tell us that it's a dumb idea at some point.
So we are going to go do this. One of the first issues I've made in our repo, we're going to make a live now badge at the top of our webpage, nattermob.dev. So somewhere in the top here, it's going to say that we are live now. And I've explicitly asked for an obnoxious live now badge. And I then, I guess, ordered Paul to give me a Marquee Element badge. And both him and AK, are not responsible for this. It's fully me. I love a Marquee. And I did also want to use Blink, but that is not supported anymore. So Paul... So Paul wanted it to be... I tried to get out of this by saying that the Marquee element is deprecated, and it is, but it's still supported in most browsers. So we're doing it. And for the people who's been here before, we have done some cleanup, so the page looks a little bit different. And I've also done a lot of fun stuff in the index file. Go and have a look at that before Paul rips out my Lodash and other fun stuff I've done in there. But we wanted to give John a little tip of the hat. I don't know what you're saying over there in the UK, that he now, Paul changed it to use this format string timestamp here for a little build badge at the bottom of our page, which tells us when the site was last built, that we did last week, with GitHub actions triggering the build every 12 hours. Is it now, Paul?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. So we changed that to every 12 hours. So I guess, did you want to give an overview of some more things we've done in the house cleaning department?
Yeah, I've got a little list here. So we've also implemented Prettier and a Husky pre-commit hook, because this was causing problems when Benedicta and I were working on little bits and pieces. We're creating a PR, and Benedicte's tabs and use of double quotes and single quotes was different to mine. So rather than messing around getting each of us to change our VS Code settings, there's now a formatter that will run pre-commit. So any code pushed up to GitHub would always be formatted in the same way. So that's kind of a tooling job that's really good. You mentioned, John, we've also made a change to the max results YouTube query, which has now been up to 50 because we've had more than 10. So we got the full list. We've refined the API Q search query param to only return, hashtag Gatsby.js and deep dives keywords.
I've actually now changed it to it has to match with quotes, the dot, and then hashtag Gatsby.js deep dive, which is at the end of every title.
Okay.
Yeah, because otherwise I got picked. If I ever, in some of my other videos, I will sometimes say like, check out Gatsby deep dives, but I will never put that like dot in the front there,
Sure.
the little mid dot. So this was the best I could do.
And then lastly, another little tooling chore type thing, which was the use of uppercase letters in file names. And so if we look back over the episode where we did the SEO component, SEO was spelt with a capital S, which is slightly problematic. It's not problematic if you leave it alone, but if you ever change it, either your local disk, depending on what OS you're on, and sometimes GitHub won't recognize the name change, but it will change the string to the import path. So you can run into issues. So I've kind of now decided that our naming convention, if you like, will be kebab case rather than Pascal or camel cased. So there'll be there won't be anything other than lowercase letters found in file names. And I think that wraps it up, but there is one more little thing we need to mention, which we totally forgot about last week, which was a thank you to Luke Bivens and the Gatsby customer success team, because they upgraded us to the Gatsby Cloud Pro account for free. We're still unsponsored, but thank you, Gatsby, for doing that. That's really helped us out. And also, was that it? I think that was it. Unless to apologize for anything. Any apologies? No, I think that was it. Yeah, we're good. I guess there's an apology for
the
what
marquee.
we're out to do.
Everybody's gonna love the marquee element. Okay, I'm gonna love the marquee element. So
yeah. All right, well, let's see.
And now we even have a banner telling everyone what we're doing today.
And that emoji perfectly represents how I feel about it.
So when Paul made the suggestion for the titles, he had that little pukey face in there, and I just copied that and put that in the YouTube title. And then later Paul was like, "You put that in?" I was like, "Yes." So it's all good. So this is also a little bit of a preparation for next week, because then we're going to hook the component we're making today, the Live Now badge or component that we're making today. We're going to hook that up to a Gatsby function on Friday next week. And we got, do you want to do a little drum roll, Ola? Is it too early? Woo! Kyle Matthews, the founder of Gatsby, is coming.
Yes.
To help us out with that. So that's going to be fun. If you have any questions for him, you can DM Ola on Twitter, and then maybe Ola will ask them. We'll see. Or just come in the chat next week and ask him yourself. So that's all for our, cleanups and other things. Let's get to the coding.
Okay, here we go. This is going to be it. So we need to make a new component. I don't know what you want to call it, Live Now badge or Live Now marquee. It's up to you.
Should I just call it marquee?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, let's as least specific as we can be.
Yeah. In
fact, give it your favorite cartoon character name.
Component. Okay, then Live Now. Because the thing is, for the people watching that, why I'm getting away with this marquee thing is because after the summer, there will be some actual styling being done to this page with component. What do you call those, Paul? The design system, design component library. What are we making this fall?
We have a question from John. Look.
Oh, that is a great suggestion. Yes, I say yes, Paul.
I mean, I
thought I was an anarchist, but I feel sick now.
We'll see. We're going to go with Paul's suggested solution first, and then we'll have a little break as always. And then if we have time after the break, I can do some YOLO coding, John.
Maybe.
But anyway, so after the summer, we're doing like a proper design system, I guess it's called, right?
Yeah,
Design
when we
system.
come to do the styling, and this is why I'm a little bit reluctant to do too much inline styles, because we're going to have to remove it all at some point. But, you know, let's just, you know, have a bit of fun with a marquee and see what happens.
Okay, let's go.
All right, so all the usual: import React, create a constant, and export default.
It's so warm that like my keyboard is sticky. Why is this red? Am I doing it wrong?
Import React from
No,
React.
it was just slow. So live now badge.
Or yep.
Okay, and then we will return something. I'm just going to start with.
Well, I was going to suggest we just start straight up with the marquee.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, just whack in a marquee straight away, because that will move us on to the next thing quite nicely. Because we just need to return something. Because there's a bit of a dweeby thing I want to talk about.
Export default live now badge. And then we want to put it somewhere.
Yeah, so we've already got a wrap page element going on in Gatsby browser JS. Yeah, so two things. Well, there's two methods to use here. The first is the wrap page element. The second, wrap root element, and there is a difference between the two. It is in the doc, but to summarize, wrap page element mounts and unmounts when you change roots, and wrap root element mounts and never unmounts. So technically, we could use wrap root element for today, which I think is what we will do. But what we'll probably want to do next week is put this marquee component in wrap page element. The reason being, in our marquee component, as Benedict said, it's going to hit a Gatsby function that will then hit the YouTube API and work out if we're live. So what we want to happen is for that to hit the API endpoint every time the route changes. So if someone visits our site from the index and then they go to a video page, it will make a second call. So every time the route changes.
But we need to discuss this though. I have other ideas.
Well, I know we talked about the details, but let's not get into that. I think let's just run with this for the moment because it's not going to cause any problems.
Because I think we will run into problems if we wrap the page element in. If we wrap that, or if we add the marquee to the page element in the wrap page element, then every time the route changes, the marquee will start over, won't it?
Yeah, but I think the danger of putting it in the root element is it's going to make the API request once. So if they never change root and they stay on the page, it will never trigger.
Yeah, but I want to use query, which does all of this niceness for us. Anyway, we'll discuss that offline.
Okay. Right. Okay. We don't need to return the SEO component.
Oh no, of course, because we have that. So we need a fragment.
Yeah, let's put a fragment in and return element, and you'll need to destructure that from the params as well. Yeah. Element FYI is the actual page. It's a Gatsby thing.
And then we want our new marquee element in here.
Yeah, so just above the element, just import and use the live now marquee or live now badge, whatever you called it.
I called it badge, so when you do your design system, you don't have to change the name of it.
Fine. All right. Did that import all right? You've got auto import on, haven't you?
There.
Yeah, so that's it. So yeah, spin up the dev server and we should see whatever text you put in that marquee element appear at the top of the page, and it should persist across every route. So if you navigate around clicking on the thumbnails list, that that marquee should continue as normal.
Okay, we're waiting for the build. Waiting for the build. Ooh, 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 ooh. Cue elevator music. Ooh, 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 do, do, do. It's coming. It's coming. Or not.
That's
anyone
right.
has any.
You can just listen to Ula and Lillian playing.
Yeah. Yeah, you might see that, but it might not see that. But Ula is not in his attic.
Oh, isn't he?
is.
He left the attic.
Yeah,
Is
he left
allowed out of
attic.
the attic? I wasn't sure if he's allowed to leave or not.
Look at there. He's not there. He's gone.
There's an
He's
Ula
gone.
in the house.
Okay, it's still building. We have so many videos now, you know? It's crazy. It's got to source all these videos.
I think your computer might be quite slow because when I run this on mine, it doesn't take this long. it's like
no, but you have to remember it's also streaming. So streaming takes a lot of resources. So it's not this. Yeah, it's not this strong. It's not this strong. It's not this slow when I'm not streaming. And I've seen several streamers like this is what happens when you start streaming. It's like, oh, you need the light that I remember to turn on, and then you need another mic. And then in the end, you realize you just need a new computer, right? So that you have the computing power.
Second computer, one to run the stream and one that you can work on, I guess.
Look at that. There's your warning, guys.
Yeah, good. I'm glad that came up.
Can we make it from now?
Oh.
Look at that.
I mean, look at that.
Beautiful.
That is beautiful.
It's even better with the slightly laggy preview that I'm getting here because it looks like it jumps.
I mean, I don't know. I get these like really nostalgic back in the day when I was a teenager hanging out online feelings. I don't know if you heard that. Something happened in the kitchen. Yeah, I don't know. I just get this like really like comfy feeling as soon as I saw that. Oh, okay. Let's keep on going.
All right. So what do you want to tackle
on
first?
that.
Do you want to make this look nice, or do we want to talk about our accessibility issue first?
What do you want, AK?
Well, I love that the marquee element is there. I do. I also have a sentiment for the 90s vibes. We do need to. I mean, as long as we do the accessibility stuff, that's fine.
I think it's probably more interesting to do the accessibility stuff, and then we can make it.
Yeah,
look like
and then we can. Yeah. We're probably going to be changing styling like 5 times as well. So
yes. So let's do these. So what AK is talking about is that there are ways where we can turn this off if people have explicitly stated in their browser that they don't want that much like motion on their web pages. And that's what we want to check for now, and then make this a non-marquee element. Am I right, Paul?
Yeah, I like the fact that you called it makes them not like want motion on their pages. Imagine that was the actual JavaScript method. Make not like want motion on pages.
That would be a great one.
If they prefer reduced motion is the is the specific method. You know that.
I am so sorry. I failed at the one job that I had. We had a question from the chat. So before we actually move on to accessibility, can we answer John's question?
Yep. Most of the time, their starters use the layout component to wrap pages. Can you explain how using the Gatsby browser JS file is different?
It's not, but I am a fan of Kelsey Dodd's method of AHA, which is avoid hasty abstraction. And the reason for that is when Gatsby suggests you use this layout component that they use in, say, plugins, it's kind of doing the same thing. I'm not a fan of like squirreling that stuff away. I'd rather just hard code it. If you look at some of what the plugins are doing, you can obviously do it yourself. And the second reason is we're on stream, and if we just went install this plugin, wallop, we've then got 55 minutes to fill while we talk about it. So yeah, I think look, the short answer is, you know, we're going to try and do quite a lot of what we're doing without plugins, just so we can.
Yeah, I don't think he talks about the kind of layout plugin, but I know from their examples that they have a layout component and then they kind of add that to every page they create. And for me, that's kind of the difference. Like you would have to remember every time you make a new page that you should also wrap it in the layout component. While when you do the when you do the wrap page element, like you never like a new developer on the team, if they're making a page, like they don't then have to remember, oh, I should always add this stuff around the page. But where layout components come in really handy, I think, is if one page should have, or like these pages should have one layout and these other pages should have another layout, then you should have one layout component for this set and one layout component for the other set. But you might still have these things that you want to make sure is on every page, and I would put those in the wrap page element.
There's also a third thing that John could be talking about, which was if you use the layout component and then use it in Gatsby SSR and Gatsby browser, so that you're effectively wrapping the same thing in both browser and server. The problem with that approach may be sometimes, for instance, if you were to say inject a font in your page layout component, it's going to inject a font on the server and on the browser. So you actually get font files downloading. So that's, I think, again, it's that abstraction thing. Like if you know what it's going to do, it's okay to abstract. We don't. So let's just keep it raw.
But I think at some point we'll have a little like page wrapper, which is kind of
probably, yeah, we probably will, but without design, it's like, I mean, I don't know, who knows.
I hope that cleared something up for you, John. Please ask us a follow-up question in the chat. But I have seen that most of the Gatsby tutorials have the layout. So he's asking another question. So then passing prop sits in the component inside the wrap page element. So I don't think you can you can't pass props inside of this wrap.
I think you might be able to get at the page context. There are other things I think on that page element.
Yeah.
It depends. Yeah, it depends what you need.
So for these ones, it's more like a general thing that you want to add. And there are some more things coming in here. It's the element. I don't know if we have tool helping that will tell us. We'll have to look at the API documents for that. Or what did you want to say, Paul?
I think all it comes down to is just being aware of what it's doing. And like I said, sometimes abstracting this stuff away just because it's done in a Gatsby starter. I think one of the things about the Gatsby starter is to try and simplify it. But the whole point of our show is to dive deep. And so we're no, don't worry about this. We're saying, actually, no, do worry about this because we're trying to explain how it works. But it's not simple.
Trying our best. And but another thing too, though, is that if you do it this way, you have to remember to do it both in the Gatsby browser and the Gatsby SSR files if it has to happen on both sides. While if you just import a layout component in every page you create, then that will happen on both SSR and in the browser. So if we had a layout component that we wrapped around both inside 404 and inside index, and we wrapped it around the index page, we wouldn't have to think about the difference between the SSR server-side rendering and the browser rendering. But as Paul was saying, if you then slap like something in there that you might not want on both sides, then you can't kind of separate that out.
What's the third S for when you talk about Gatsby SSR? You go SSR.
I don't know.
Seriously, server-side rendering.
SSR. There's two S's, right?
Server-side.
Yeah, server-side rendering. But in my head, all I think about is the USSR. Right. And I don't know, and I try not to say USSR, so then I'm guessing I'm like SSSR. We know you understood what I meant, which is the most important thing.
I did. I'm just trying to save you, a fraction of a second because you can drop an S and save it for something else.
Okay, today we are deep. Yes, so today we are going to go deep into prefer reduced motion.
Prefers reduced motion.
Prefers reduced motion, which I call I don't want to see so much motion option.
Yeah, so basically what we want to create here is some kind of state object that we are going to set depending on what the user's prefers reduced motion setting is, and then either return the marquee or a div. So let's just set up a use state. So destructure and import use state, or it will do it automatically, and this will be prefers reduced motion and set prefers reduced motion.
Prefer reduced motion set.
Got an S on the end of prefers.
Prefers. Refuse motion.
You want me to copy and paste it?
I do want to copy and paste it, but I'm not. I'm going to practice.
And
No,
let's-
not to state. I want to use state, not static query.
And then by default, let's set this to false.
And then I was missing an S over here. Prefers reduce motion. Reduce motion. Hello. Okay, we're good.
And you can remove that use static query from the imports.
Oh yeah, it imported wrong. Here we go.
All right, so we can hard code this return just for now to create the condition. So I guess, I don't know, either use a fragment or a div, whatever you want to do, and return a single JSX element.
You don't want to do the if around the whole return. You want to do it inside.
Well, we're going to either return the marquee or a div, but we
Okay.
need to return a single JSX element. Or you can do it in a fragment if you want.
Okay.
This will be a ternary operator for prefers reduced motion. question mark.
Then we want the div
Yep.
live. And if it's not, we want the marquee, right?
Yeah. So I guess we can hard code a test here.
Yeah, so now it's false. So if we don't, and let's check our page.
You'll need to
Something is wrong.
fragment.
Would it not work with just CSS? Or are we just not doing CSS in
Yeah, it
just...
will, but we don't have CSS yet. We
Okay.
can do this. We're doing this JavaScript approach.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're doing the JavaScript approach since we
We
wanna
can't
run it.
do the CSS method in line. It would have to be with an actual CSS file, and we sort
So-
of don't have that.
So now it's live, and then if we set it to true, we should not get the.
Here we go.
But we're not
And-
getting anything else.
What? It doesn't return what?
It doesn't return anything more.
Is that because of the wrap root? Or...
The wrap root element returns the live now badge. That's fine. What have we done wrong?
What have we done wrong? This
What
was
have we
supposed
done
to be
wrong?
like an easy one, and we're already in half an hour.
Show me the live now badge. What's going on in there?
I'm having a hard time with this because it's not wrapping, so maybe something is wrong. But it could be easier for me if we do if there is so little space for me to code on because the font has to be so big. So if we do it like this, then it's easier for me to see what I'm doing. Ula wants to say something.
You see me?
Yes.
I'll say yes. I'm talking to Lillian.
We know. We can hear. They can all hear.
Hi. Hello, family! Hello! Oh, der er de, Lilla. Der er de.
Mm.
Se, nå er du med. Der er de.
Is there any errors in the page?
Let's see now. No, only the warning that we shouldn't use the marquee element.
I think that's got to be. That's a very strange thing.
Because it... Oh.
See, now it works. So there's something about the div. I'm probably haven't done. Yeah, I have closed the div. So if we return the div, that's when it's weird.
Why on earth would that make a difference?
Exactly. Wait, what?
So what, if you return a div, we don't get the page?
Yeah, that is exactly what is happening.
Okay, so we have it set to true, and if that condition is true, then return just this. But that's within.
There's something wrong with this div because I changed it to span and then it works.
What?
That is so interesting.
I think we might have a rogue div somewhere, and then Chrome is like,
Yeah,
oh,
because
you close the div.
inline and divs a block element, and somehow
Have a look at the console. What errors are coming up?
maybe it's just a very huge div.
I mean, this might just be either your browser or we might have to restart the server.
Hey, Meltwater is here.
Hey, Meltwater. What's that error? What's that red error I can see on the one? There's a one tag. There we go. What's going on here?
Oh, it's mad because it doesn't match between the server side and the
Yeah, I had this earlier. I mean, just run the dev server again. I don't know whether this is like a weird thing, but there's no reason returning a div should cause a problem.
It might be because there's a div around the next block, so that then it tries to replace the first div. It's server-side renders with like one top level div, and then when this div comes in, it tries to replace the div, something like that.
We've got some suggestions.
Ooh, yeah, we are
to use media query and to use window much media.
I think we're getting to something similar. We just have to work. We are going to check something on window later, aren't we, Paul?
Yeah, this will run in a use effect in a minute when we set it.
Yeah.
And the reason that meltwater might cause a problem is because the window isn't available on the server, so you might get an error. So we're going to wrap it with a if to say if there's a window object. Having said that, it's going to run in a use effect. Thinking about it, use effects only run in browser anyway, so maybe that isn't a problem.
Well, but he's also saying something interesting here, that you also get a listener that we can listen to and react when the user changes it as well. Super cool. We are running into a problem where the whole page is removed when we add the live badge. That's what we're trying to fix now.
So are you not getting anything else? Is it written in no elements, or is that one just huge?
I think no. I think what is happening is that when it's server-side renders, the page has kind of has a DOM structure, and when we are then on the browser side injecting something to the DOM structure, it is messing it up between how the DOM structure looked before and now. So it's replacing our whole page with this one. So if we just have a span for now, Paul, then it works.
Or I was gonna maybe suggest just run a clean and run the dev server again. It might be a cache issue.
Yeah, but it's gonna take.
Yeah, it will take ages.
Yeah. So let's just use a span file, and I will try to write a blog post on this at some point. No, but basically tries to. So if we look here, the div. I think we have a div here that is like outside, which is the div that there's a div around this live, I think it ends up replacing this div because it's trying to do some like merging of the DOM elements.
Maybe. I mean, it works on my machine. The classic.
Well, anyway, now it's a span for now.
All right,
okay.
We'll leave it as a span for now.
Yeah.
All right, so let's now let's actually investigate what prefers reduced motion is. So let's write a use effect for now. I think will probably work.
Okay. Okay, somebody's not happy tonight. There is whining in the kitchen. She's been playing outside all night and forgotten to eat. So Ula is trying to get some food into the kid. Okay.
This will need a empty array as the, because it runs once. And then just put a console login for window.matchMedia, and matchMedia is Pascal case, which is a function.
Yeah.
And then in strings, and then inside parentheses, it'll be prefers hyphen reduced hyphen motion colon.
Now I can sneak peek over to what Meltwater was saying earlier, so I don't spell it wrong. Okay. Reduce.
Yeah. So there are other options. They can be like ignore or all, I think.
It didn't auto import effect. My computer is really slow today. I'm sorry about that.
Do you have like a banjo or something you could play in the meantime?
Yeah, we need something like that.
Hey, you always go for the same melody. I feel like
right, there you go. There's the log near the bottom underneath the warning. If you just twizzle that down.
Twizzle? Let's just twizzle that down.
There it is. Look, matches is what we're looking for, which is going to be a Boolean for true or false. Do you want to do a little top tip to simulate prefers reduced motion?
Yes, please.
Okay, in the top right of your dev tools, there's the 3 vertical dots. If you do run command and just start typing reduced, simulate prefers reduced motion, click that and then refresh the page.
Oh, but this is what I think Meltwater was saying, that you can add like a listener so that you can change this when it changes. Okay.
Is equal now. True.
So, woo! Yay!
Yeah, I mean, all of it. They're all good points, Meltwater. I think this isn't staying. This thing won't be. This thing will not be here, and quite a lot of what we're doing won't be staying. So this is a very temporary measure.
I will just say that in every project I've been in, when it's like, oh, this is just a prototype, it ends up going into production. So, Paul, this is staying forever. I just tricked you.
I can rip this out at any point and just push the main.
Well, I can just revoke your access.
Oh, God. Right. Anyway, back in our horrible live now marquee component, we're going to use that same method we just console logged. So we want to do a little if statement for if window dot match media prefers reduced motion, and then we're going to take dot matches from the end of it.
So you want an if here?
Yep, if, and then put an if around that. But at the end of that, we want to put dot matches because that's the Boolean.
Oh yeah, matches.
It will be outside the parenthesis.
Oh yeah, sorry. I am sorry, but it's so hard coding when the letters are so big. Let me see if I can remove. Let me remove this. Okay, matches. Yeah. And then we need a parenthesis.
Yeah.
And then we are here.
And then do set prefers reduce motion. True. So in theory, that should then update the state, which will then either decide whether we return the span or the marquee, because the component will be rendered.
Okay, so let's go back. So now we have live. It's not a marquee. We go back to the run command, reduce. Oh, but then I can't turn it on again, or?
Yeah. So if when you type reduce, it says there it will say like do not emulate or do.
Okay. Oh yeah, but then I had to refresh because we're not doing the listener. Okay, that.
So we should get the animated one now, right?
Yeah.
There we go.
There we
All
go.
Basically, the condition, and now we can just kind of put a whole load of gross styles in if you want, and decide what to return. But do we have anything planned for the break? If we are going to do that, run a team and a dev again and see if we can get rid of that error.
Yeah. Do we have anything planned for the break, Ola? Yes.
Is it soon?
That sounded like a question.
Is it now? Is it now?
It could be now.
Do you have? You need to get like a build running or something, or
So.
have future changes,
What
and
did
then
you
we can
say?
have a break.
I'm trying to hear what AK says.
Well, you can't hear because you don't have your headphones.
I almost hear it.
So, Ula, whenever you decide, we can have a break, but we need one in a minute or 2 or 5.
No, I don't understand.
We need a break.
In
As
5
soon
minutes,
as you can, let's have a break.
you need it in 5 minutes.
At least.
At least, but does that mean less than 5 minutes? It's so vague.
As soon as possible is what I'm saying.
Okay, Lilian. Mamma sa at jeg må gå opp.
Welcome to family life. Everyone.
What's happening? What we doing? Is there a break or is there not a break?
No.
Ula
I
doesn't think that.
Ola's ready. So can we make any more progress?
Yes, we can make a little bit of a progress.
Yeah.
We can, but I want to try and get that tenorary working rather than the if statement, Benedicte, if you can.
Well, I think this is more explicit, but I can do that.
Well, because we're
Return.
going to wrap stuff around it. That's the thing. So, for instance, return, maybe rather than the fragment, you could return an anchor and put an href into your YouTube channel.
Yeah, and that will solve our problem with these divs being the same, or like my hypothesis for the problem. Okay, HTTP, and look at this, everyone. I have got my vanity YouTube URL.
Hi.
There we go.
A target and a rel no referrer on it.
Oh, look at that. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Well, let's turn up the sound. Not turn off the sound, I said. Yeah, so then I guess we also solved our little other issue. So we have the live. What did you want me to do now?
So you probably want to add a target equals _ blank on the anchor and a rel no referrer, no opener. What do you need for a blank referrer?
I can't remember.
I think you need a rel no referrer. It will whinge at you anyway. Come on, accessibility person. AK. What do you mean?
I always do no refer, no.
Okay, no
Why? Okay, you go.
Yeah,
now.
here it's rel no refer. It says it tells us.
Yeah.
Thank you, linter. This is stuff we knew before linters, right? We just knew these things, and now we don't. And it opens in another
we're
window.
always just doing these things. Let's be honest.
Yeah, well, that's true. Let's be honest. We didn't know these things. We just forgot. So since we're all here, it's not coming up anymore. I just released a new video about a day in my life. You can watch that, and you get to see
featuring the Nattermob crew. I love that video actually. It's very good.
Yeah.
I like the editing.
Yeah, I did. I've had somebody else edit, which makes it so much more fun for me to make them.
Kudos to somebody else.
Belen. Okay, so we have the live badge. It's working. Now we wanted to make it even more obnoxious, right?
All right, good. Okay. Yeah. Oh, goody. Right. So inside the anchor.
But does this mean we don't really need the break anymore? We solved the problem, right?
Potentially. I don't know what. I don't know what Ola had planned for the break. I was just.
Yeah, we'll see whenever he comes. There might be a break. I think he's like,
right.
come here. He can do the break. Ola, you want to do the break?
Is he chewing? Is he saying something? Because I can't see because of the banner.
I'll take the banner off.
So Do you guys feel that it's kind of optional with the break?
I mean, we have to have at least a 2 seconds break because this is a tradition, and obviously I'm
Yes.
very comfortable with changes. Extremely comfortable with changes.
You and Ola
There
both.
needs to be some order, okay?
You and Ola both.
The element.
I'll put you all up on treason charges if we don't have a break. We must have a break. Yeah, we have break. In the break, we have Tall Tales from AK, and
Oh my God.
No, you don't want to break.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
God.
I'm just
I
kidding.
never remember. Can you just send me an email like a day before so I remember to
No, I
think
remember.
about it the night before?
I was just trying to be funny. I know it wasn't funny, but yeah, we do something and then we do plugs. Do you have a plug, Paul?
Oh, I've got no plug. The thing I'm working on is
You
secret.
gotta get your plug ready. Yeah. Okay. So
I kind of already snuck in a plug for my video, but I will sneak in another one as well.
Yes. So then I will do a story then. So if I go into my Google Calendar here, Google, no. There it is. No, so the thing is, yeah, I've invited Kyle for the show, but that was like less than an hour ago, so I can't imagine that he has answered yet. So
But he
it's a little-
hasn't.
Huh?
Oh, I've already put him on the thumbnail for the next week's video. So if he's pulling out now, then
It's not about pulling out. This is the actual. So if he answers yes in there, that's the real thing. Yeah. So that was a story. Maybe a little boring story, but it's true. It's a true story.
So what's happening next week?
we are connecting we are connecting this component we're making, the beautiful Live Now component. We are connecting that to a Gatsby function that will then tell us if we are live right now or not. Because that's not data we can actually funnel through the build, because the build is only every 12 hours or every, the fastest could be every 15 minutes. So we need another way to know if we're actually live or not.
Because otherwise you need to stay live for a week until you can because you already have an official banner on your official page that says so.
So it needs to just you constantly be talking about stories, okay, for 12 hours.
Yes.
And then when the site rebuilds, you can stop talking when we're not live.
I actually have a book. This is so weird. I've got a book underneath my desk with stories. I can read stories. They're all in Polish. They're very good stories. A little bit grip, literally.
Nastrovia. Huh?
Nastrovia.
But I have something.
Jedno piwo z odrobinę lemonady, proszę.
Wow!
Oh yeah, what's that? Do you speak Polish? Of course I do.
Do you get those little cassettes, Paul, with Polish on them?
Kurwa.
So good. Wow.
But I have something actually then for the break, because look at that. Somebody has come with a suggestion in our discussions tab.
Yeah.
So he would like some work around localization, which I think is something we should do since we're Europeans, and this fits in very well with what you guys were just doing, talking another language or speaking another language. It's such a good segue.
Just one of the biggest nightmares in technology generally, localization and time zones.
Yes, they are. So we'll have to tackle them at some point because we're doing deep dives. But I think it's really cool since we are kind of a European show. It's nice to actually tackle this because I feel like a lot of kind of American tutorials just assume English, right? While we know or more kind of, well, Americans should as well. There's lots of languages being spoken. But anyway, I think it would be cool to do something around that. It's not going to happen next week, but we will be back August 6th. With a new season after we've done 2 more shows of this season. So super thank you for coming with some suggestions. And if anybody else watching have suggestions, then head on over to the discussions tabs and you can put it in. There's also a link in the description.
Don't take it away. We know this guy.
He's been in our chat.
Yeah, several
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that not Smitty?
Yeah.
Huh?
I think so.
Can I just say that everyone who comes
It's
in and
Berkay.
is so appreciated.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Thank
great
you.
that that's great that he did that.
Yes.
So cool. Yeah.
Love it. So that makes us happy. People engaging in the chat and in our repo. So also, like, if you have
Also,
any...
behind the scenes chat, just so I can reveal. And I said to Benedicte earlier when she showed me that, I was like, oh, that's going to be tricky because we're pulling content from the YouTube API. And she said, well, you've got a couple of months to work it out. I was like, all right, okay, fine. Because we're going to be on a break. So basically my summer is working out how to do that.
Yes. And so if anybody else has any work for Paul this summer, drop it in the discussion tab.
Yeah.
Do we want to get back, or we want to do our plugs and then get back into the coding?
Yeah.
How has it taken 50 minutes to get to this point? It's been a wild ride tonight.
Well, we were just building, and we also had a little issue, and we had questions from the chat. Life, innit?
That's true.
It's live. So everybody's plug super quick, and then we'll get back to coding.
I will skip my plug because I ain't got a plug. So
I haven't got a plug either.
very quick.
Nobody's got a plug. Well, I have another YouTube plug since my page is already open. On Monday, 10 o'clock Central European that time, I will be working on migrating my POW users from ConvertKit to UserList together with the co-founder of UserList, Benedict, which is so funny because I'm Benedicte and he's Benedict. So basically the same name, right? And it means the blessed. So both he and I are blessed. So I hope to see some of you there.
You should put like an angel emoji in the title.
Yes, the blessed.
The blessed.
Yes. Okay, that was my plug. Do you have a plug for today, Ula?
Yep. Share screen. Oh,
This is got to take the next 10 minutes for you to share the screen.
am I not sharing it? No, you are hugging it.
Okay, I'm adding it to the stream. There you go.
Is it weird? Do you see the red thing?
Yes, we see the red thing.
Yeah, good. All you programming pirates out there, are your builds acting weird today? Your Gatsby builds? Yeah? Maybe you should take your local Gatsby builds to the next level. Whoa!
Sorry.
Yeah, the price is $300 US.
Ooh.
It's great. Yeah, so that's the plug. Apply now. Click this button here and answer the questions.
And the address is lilylabs.no/buildmap.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
That's cool. Then we get back to the coding.
Right. What are we doing then? Are we going to make this thing look a bit more obnoxious?
Yes, we are.
Great. Okay. Inside the anchor, let's first of all wrap that ternary in its own div.
Okay.
And let's put some lovely inline styles on that.
Yes.
And give it a background color of red, which for all the Hex fans out there. Okay, fine. Just type red. Well, I put in something cool in a minute with hex values, and you've sort of nosed that up for me. But go on, please put a hex ref in. It's just FF4 zeros.
FF4 zeros?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, good. And then we want to put above that.
I'm sorry, I have somebody brushing her teeth next to me. So, but I'm going to try to concentrate. Okay, above where?
Above the div.
Yeah, above the div.
Yeah, let's put a span in, and let's put in our live now red dot thing. Do you want me to find that for you, or can you find an emoji?
The live now and then the red dot.
Yeah.
I actually have a Notion with reusable content pieces. So it
Okay,
should be in there.
I've popped it in the live chat if you want it.
Oh,
Anyway.
maybe that's probably quicker. Because now Notion.
I might have actually put the wrong one in.
Yeah, I think you did.
Oh, you want red circle is what we want, isn't it?
This is why this stream is taking so long, Paul. You're
floundering.
Yeah, put tomato in.
Right. So in that span, we don't want it to say live now.
Okay.
We just want to put the red dot in.
Okay.
But we do want to be responsible and add an area label attribute.
Hi, Papa. Hi, Papa.
Hi, Lilian. Did you see
I guess this can just be red circle because it's the name of the emoji.
Mama.
Just human readable text, not hyphenated. This is for.
Oh, sorry. I'm a little distracted.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Okay.
Yeah, and because it's an emoji, we really should call it out as an image. So it'll be roll equals img.
So we're just telling the screen readers what's the point of this text, because for them it's a text, right? It's but then we're saying it's an image, and the image is of a red circle.
Yeah, we probably could go one step further and maybe ask screen readers to not even call it out, but I'm not going to get into that now. Right, now wrap both of those in another div. And put some inline styles on this div. So style attribute.
I'm liking where this is going.
No, I hate it. I can't even look at it. And let's make this, let's do display grid.
Where are you going?
A line item center. You need a camera after that grid.
Oh. Yeah, where are you going with this? Ola, something is wrong with your audio.
Align items center.
Okay.
Align items, not line items. Align items.
Oh, but this is not the most focused I've been on stream. Okay.
Any chance you can give us a save and see if it formats and puts it onto new lines? This is quite hard to read. It doesn't. All right, let's try the next thing then.
Oh, look at this. Yeah. Okay.
Next thing will be grid template columns. Do you want me to spell that?
Grid template. Oh, look at that. It came up with some suggestions for me. That's how I like it.
Okay, and in a string, it's going to be, oh, that's better. Right, so I guess we want the span, which is the first grid template, to be auto width. So just auto.
Okay.
And then the remaining space, the one fraction, 1FR.
So this should be auto, and then this should be one fraction.
Yep, that's it. And then let's put a background color on this. And this is why I wanted you to use a hex reference, because we're going to use hex alpha. Fun fact, hex reference support an alpha element. Alpha, whatever. So this will be the same hex value. And then after the last 0, put in 90, which will represent the opacity.
Like that?
Yeah, so that's hex alpha.
Wow,
so
I didn't know that.
Hooray, a top tip.
Another tip.
And then underneath background color, let's add some padding.
Yeah.
Give it 8 pixel padding, because that's going to be part of our design system later. But we're going to rip this out and then change the color to white. And before you show us what you're doing, can you add a style attribute to the anchor? Because I want to just turn the text decoration off because it's gross.
You don't even want us to see it, do you? Yeah. And then we want, and now I can't even think, so you have to spell it out for me. Text extraction. I know that. It's like,
none.
there we go.
All right, good. We should now have your obnoxious live now, Marquee.
Oh, look at that. I mean, people, how beautiful is that?
Can we get this next thing done in the next 12 seconds? Instead of it being live, put that in curlies.
And let's do it in
and then call it
curlies.
message and do the same with the marquee.
Yeah, so that we don't write it twice in case we want to change it.
And then up the top somewhere, define a constant, call it message. And I guess you want to do like live now. And then do you want to use the URL so that people know when they're clicking it?
I want everyone to know my vanity
live
URL.
You got it. And then that'll at least give them some indication that when they click that thing, it's going to take them to a new page.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
This is working.
Thing of beauty. So can you notice the difference between the inner div and the outer div for the opacity on the red? Did you see? You can see that they're slightly different. Yeah.
I can see that.
So
but I feel like there's something wrong with the alignment of the text in the marquee. It's like further up than it should be. It's not in the center.
Let's have a look at the align items. I know we struggled with that.
I love that you say we. You know,
well, we were a team effort to spell it right. Align items.
Align items.
Center. Yeah, it looks all right. Align item center. That's correct. Got
maybe different.
Yeah, but that's in the div. I think we need to have it inside of here too.
Yeah, but if you put a line, you'll need to have either it will need to be flex enabled, so it'll either need to be a grid or a flex to align items. Just take me back to Chrome and let's have a look. Has it got a weird line height? Give me the elements in your dev tools.
Yeah, so let's see. The marquee doesn't have a weird.
Yeah, I'm just looking through the marquee. Gosh, this really does feel like childhood.
I mean, you could try and make this look nice, but let's face it, it does not look nice. I mean, if you really want to, what you could do on the marquee is add a style attribute and just change the font family to System UI. Then at least it will use Roboto in Chrome.
Yeah, let's not. Let's say that we are happy with this. And look at that. It doesn't. This is the beauty of doing
you can do a line in marquee. You can do a line middle.
Ooh.
You can do left, right, top, middle, bottom.
As an attribute or a style?
As an attribute.
So you have to
just
do it
a line?
You have
in
to
the JSX Benedicte.
Ah, the good old. Oh, okay. A line. Thank you for that. A line, and then we want to do middle.
I guess that's a bit like
middle,
right?
Yeah, that goes.
Does it change anything? Can't see. It's too small for me.
No.
No.
What?
Show me the console, because when I was messing around with Marquee,
The console.
yeah. Is there any warnings in there about things that, I mean, obviously don't use the marquee. We've got that thing. Yeah, so when I was messing around with this, what is it? The JSX, what's the word I'm looking for? Compiler, that's not the right word. But for instance, if you look at the MDM docs for Marquee, you'll notice it has a couple of events, but JSX, when it compiles this, will strip out some attributes. So it might actually remove that align thing. It might not actually do anything with it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's still there, but I might just do, since we're all doing, it's all ugly already. Let's just do an inline style. Padding, top.
Oh my God.
3 pixels just to make sure it breaks your design system completely, Paul. look at that. That looked better. Look at that. Like, okay, you're gonna get 4 bullets to 5. I cannot give you half of the other value. Well, I have to give you that. So that's gonna be 4 of the padding up here, which is 8, which I'm guessing is gonna be part of
under the directive was the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, so John says make the marquee display flex. Then I think align item center. But since we're just doing it the good old-fashioned ugly way, I'm just going to stick with my little padding top. So that is super cool. But we do have this console message, which I think is the problem we had earlier too.
Did you run a clean
from John?
Sorry, you were talking about, what did you say, AK?
There's a suggestion from John to just use Flexbox.
Yeah, I saw that. But yes, I think I haven't done clean, but I think this is quite important with the SSR and the Gatsby browser, is that it should have the same DOM structure. And now when it's server-side rendered, it doesn't have that A element on the top, but when it's in the browser, it gets added an A element at the top. And React doesn't, or not React, I guess somebody doesn't like that the DOM structure changes between the SSR and the now I just said 2 S's, SSR and the browser rendering. So do we want to fix that or not?
I'm still not entirely sure I understand what that error is doing.
So it's saying that the DOM structure has changed. So on the SSR, it was only a div, but then now in the browser, there's a div and an A element next to each other. So it's saying that the structure of the HTML has changed.
Show me the component, the marquee component.
Yeah, so it's not that who has changed, but this A here, like this element has been added, and it expected there to only be one div here and not an A element and then a div, because the server-side rendered version does not have the link component.
Why doesn't the server side have the link component?
Because we're not wrapping the server side with the Live Now badge.
That shouldn't be a problem though, because you can add things in browser that aren't added on server.
Yeah, but I think that's the warning. It says expected server HTML to contain a matching A and div. And it's matching this. It's expecting this to be on the server. But that's for another time. It works.
Oh, I see. I see what you're saying now. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm surprised by that.
I've seen it before. So what I've done before is that I do, so on the Live Now, I would do an SSR, and then if it is SSR, I would just like leave like a lot of this content out, or like make it opacity 0, and then as soon as all this data has happened, then I'll turn it on, or like when it gets the data back from the Gatsby function, we would turn it on. But we could leave that for next time, because then we actually have to wait for this data and stuff, and it could be something for that. And then we might have Kyle on who can explain this to us properly.
All right. Remove that object from the params, by the way. Eagle eye. All right, good. I mean, have we got time to even run a build and push this up?
Oh, yeah. Even prettier Live Now badge.
Oh, before you run that commit, can you bring up your terminal? Will it actually show the prettier stuff running? Oh, because you do it all weird in... No,
I can do it in here.
Yeah, do it in there. Add the commit in terminal, because just to show you what we did on the housekeeping, you should see prettier run and format the files.
If I haven't done anything wrong, but I don't know what this terminal is. I need to clean up, but you need to help me with that one day, because my terminal is just really weird.
I don't use the VS Code terminal. I don't know if there's any other fans out there of this approach. I don't like it. I like just having iTerm running on the side, and it.
Exactly, Meltwater. We are messing with the rehydration. Rehydration was the word I was looking for. Thank you.
Maybe we should get Meltwater on to explain this.
Where is my vocabulary gone today? Yes, that's what I was trying to say, that on the server, the DOM structure is one thing, and when it rehydrates in the browser, it's not the same structure on like the top level, and then Gatsby doesn't like that. Did he just leave when I...
No. He has this screen that he puts up that it looks like it's not there.
So, well, nice of you to say that, Meltwater, but he just left.
We think that Paul is actually Meltwater.
Yeah, we're not sure that you are a separate person from Paul, Meltwater, because there's too much.
You're too positive. You're always giving compliments. That's weird. That's weird.
No, it's not. It's
weird.
Super cool. It's super cool.
It's super cool, but
Yeah, okay, sorry.
It's suspicious. It's suspicious. It's a running joke.
It's a little suspicious. Just a little bit.
No, I was just kidding.
Yeah, I know.
Can I just say that despite all the jokes, I really do appreciate everyone who comes in every week.
Yes,
I love it. I love it.
Me too. That's why we're here.
Like there's this syndrome that you get with like if you listen to the same podcast over and over, and you kind of like you feel your pals with like I don't know Mark Sparks or something, right? And just like like you feel like you're pals because like you hear their voice all the time.
Yes.
I feel like we're pals with people who come.
Yes. Hey, Paul is back. Look at this, Paul. Look at this.
Sorry, I needed to blow my nose.
Paul, look at this.
While you were over there on your like iPad writing comments in the chat, somebody who is not you told you that you're the best.
Thank you, Meltwater. I like Meltwater, whoever you are. I think we could be friends.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, we have now pushed to. So my terminal just didn't show whatever was happening. It was just all scrambled, so we didn't get to see the prettier stuff.
Okay.
But I pushed it and it built, and here we are on our deploy preview, live now 9, and it's working. But obviously now it's going to be on the whole time. So we
have to stay for a week.
we
I've
will.
Got the door.
Yeah, we're just going to sit there for a week. I think actually YouTube caps live stream at like 8 hours or something like that, or 12. I don't know. So John is asking, do we ever see Paul and Meltwater?
Well done. That deserves a round of applause.
So we will, we will do some posts and pre-streams. So, everyone is welcome to show up in that, and maybe we'll get to see them both in the same room. My point was, though, that we cannot merge this. Yeah, we cannot merge this to main because then we would have a live now badge running all the time. So this is going to just stay in pull request until next week when we keep on working on this. Yes.
But then we have to use Jason Lengstorff's new preview drawer.
No, because we don't have that because we're not on Netlify.
Oh. That's unfair.
Okay. Well, it's suggestion.
Look at that. Now it's not moving because I turned off the reduce. But I really want to do so. Meltwater, I don't know if about you though, Paul, but I want to YOLO code a little bit. We've been going on for over an hour. So nobody has to stay around. But if you're still here though, Meltwater, you were saying we could make this we could add a listener to our when we're asking for reduced motion so that it would actually change when we do it instead of having to do reload. I think that would be really cool to do. So if you're still in the chat and want to give us some hints on how to do that, but I will start Googling, and then whoever wants to leave can leave.
I think I still have a snippet. I mean, it's in the tab, but I still have a snippet.
Yeah, I don't think you put that in the snippet though.
I think we just need to add an event listener to the Match Media, and so we can probably just can we? So take that window.matchmedia thing that we've got in if, and let's turn that into a constant.
And then remove the matches.
Not in the use effect, I don't think, though.
And then I'm just going to call it something. So we're going to call it...
call it like, I don't know, query or something.
Reduce query.
And
I think we can do it here, and then we do reduce query, and then add event listener. No.
Yeah, okay. We can remove the event listener on unmount. Yeah, okay. Let's do that. Let's do that. Yeah.
So it says add.
It'll be add event listener. Hang on, I'm just looking at the docs. I guess change. Would it be change?
Maybe.
What is it? MDN prefers reduce motion.
Right. There's add listener, but it's depreciated.
Oh, there's nothing in the docs. Let's riff it.
I don't know if Meltwater. So if you want to,
exactly.
Yes,
It never happened. So that's going to accept a callback function.
Yes, change, and then we do.
Give me a fat arrow. Yeah.
And then we will do the set reduce motion in here, and then we'll get an event in. Right?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what the event is and wonder if it's like, because remember we sort of looked at the dot matches, so it'd be interesting to see what the event actually is.
Okay, so let's go to the correct tab here, so we're not looking at prod when we're supposed to look at the at localhost 800. We're in dev.
If you take this, you've got a hooks call in there to set reduce motion when that fires. Just turn that off, or just comment it out.
Oh yeah, I have this one.
Yeah, let's just have a look at what's contained within that event.
Okay, so then I have to do the
event.match
command.
Reduce. Oh, look at that.
Is it still under? Swizzle that down. What have we got in there? Matches. It's still in there. Look, yeah. So okay, so it'll be event.matches.
I can't see it. There it is. I like. What did you say again? Twizzle that down there, like twizzle it down. Twizzle it down. Twizzle.
We have two suggestions in the chat. One of them is event.matches and one of them is event.type.
Meltwater with the event.matches.
Yeah.
I'm going with that.
It's the event.matches, so I've destructured it. So we could do it more explicit. Event.
Oh, now you destructure.
I like it. I just see that it's not that easy to read always.
Now, if we did set reduce motion, would it be not event.matches or would it just be event.matches? Which way round is it?
Let's see. So now we are running the command to reduce to do not emulate, and that's a false. So then we want to.
Don't prefer reduced motion, it's false. So it would be a not, or actually it could be the same value, and we just switch the ternary. It's up to you.
Yeah, well, let's do it like this. Let's change this. Okay, so then this should then work.
I would probably move that reduce query outside of the use effect as well.
No, but then we return here. We return the reduce query, and then we remove event listener or something.
Yeah, we just need to do an arrow in. Oh God, now you're asking. How do you do a unmount? Unmount react hook. Hang on. When you do an unmount is the same as doing. Where's the hook? Come on, don't let me down, docs. You return a function, don't you?
Yeah, you return a function.
I'm not looking at your screen, by the way.
Okay.
I'm looking at the docs.
But we're not setting it. Log event. But it's not changing. Well, now it's quiet. Okay, it's not moving. Sorry. Let's now try to run the command reduce. setting it. It starts the marquee, and then we run the command reduce, and it stops. Thank you, Meltwater. I really enjoy this.
So yes, thank you, Meltwater.
Was it that?
Yes. Or yeah, event.matches. No, I meant the whole concept, Ola, that we, instead of just asking once on load to see if the person has prefers reduced motion on or off, we actually, instead of just asking once, we are saying whenever that setting changes, we want to know. So on every change, we update our state, and then we toggle on and off the marquee.
All right.
Before we had to change the setting and then reload the page, but now we can do it like, straight on there. But now we have to clean up. I know you've done some of this in your videos, realize that we've now added an event listener on something, and then we want to remove that listener. So when the component is not on the page anymore, it shouldn't keep on listening out for events.
Yes.
Did you find it in the docs, Paul?
Yeah, sorry, I was just looking at you've got it in there. You obviously did it, the return hook for the cleaner. So that's fine. So within the curlies, I guess we want to do reduce query dot remove event listener. I guess it's the change, but we haven't. How do we do the handler?
Yeah, I never. This is where my vanilla I remove event listener API.
Because we haven't. We've inlined the handler, right? Well, let's just change this. Let's just destructure the handler, I think, or abstract the handler.
Type event, the event listener function of the event handler to remove from the event handler an object. Okay. So could we just, if we remove out the
So the first param for the remove event listener will be change.
Yeah.
In the string, but because what we've done in the add is just hard code it, I'm not sure what we're actually removing. I just try a new, like do a comma and an empty object. Maybe that'll do it.
But I think we have to remove the actual list. So if you do the handle change,
and
then we refactor. I'm trying to think out loud here, but we now we create a constant handle change that is the function we want to run on change, and we add that to we use that in the add event listener. So every time it changes, this listener handle change is called, and then we want to remove it so it no longer listens when the component unmounts.
Yeah.
That should be correct.
Handle change should be outside the use effect as well.
No, because it's the I don't think it has to, because oh, I know this from the JS study group. It's the
lexical scope.
No, it's in the backpack. It's in the backpack.
Yeah.
What is
you're talking about scoping,
okay. Right? Not but it's called something. The it's not the scoping really. It's the backpack.
The coercion.
No, it's not the coercion. It's not the coercion. It's the backpack.
Yes,
where
the lexical scope. Oh, do you mean? Oh, I know what you mean.
Closure. It's the closure. So inside of
scope.
No, so closure.
Closure is the backpack.
Yeah. Okay. So so we don't need to have this on the outside, because it's going to be the one that is called here.
Okay.
If we put it on the outside, then I think we need to do a callback so that it never is never redefined. But if we keep it in here, we don't have a problem with it being redefined on every render.
Okay. I'm happy with that explanation.
Yeah, so this was a ramble, but if you create a function in the body of the component, it gets recreated every time the component renders. So if you don't want it to be recreated every time and then actually becoming a new variable that then will trigger changes, then you have to use callback so that it's saved between re-renders. Yeah. And we don't want to do that.
Okay, that does make sense. I understand.
So let's try again. Run command. Let's make sure we are on the latest in here. This was fun. I like a little bit of YOLO coding.
Well, ironically, with this, all of what we've just done, which was to ensure that when the component unmounts, the event listener gets removed, but because we've added it to wrap root element, it will never unmount.
I know, don't be a killjoy.
But when we move this into page element, it might. So it's potentially good to have it in.
You should always clean. You should always clean up your components. Look at this. It now changes when I change this setting. Beautiful. Beautiful. But we need a little bit of padding over here. Padding.
The queen is the queen.
Padding left.
The way.
Where's my padding? Oh, there's no padding on span. Yes, there is. Okay, there it is. A little bit of padding. So much prettier.
Absolutely beautiful.
Well, maybe I should just padding all over the place for the span.
Maybe you should change the speed. Or make it bounce.
But yeah, I didn't actually even look in because I couldn't be asked. But I didn't even look into like what you can actually do with the marquee.
You can make them go really fast. So you can make them from left to right.
Like, there's bounce or direction or something. I mean, do you want to?
I think that my original request, Paul, was to have 3 of them, 2 going in one direction in different speeds, and then a third one going.
I do not recall that request.
But I think we should be happy with what we got so far. We have a live now badge, or I guess banner was what it was supposed to be called. But anyway, we have a live now badge. We can turn on and off our prefers. What kind of name is that? Like
prefers reduced motion.
Prefers reduced motion. So we can now turn it on and off, and it will turn on and off our motion.
Yeah, because people that do prefer reduced motion, they're always in the dev tools switching their prefers reduced motion on and off. They love it.
Are. Well, it's the more correct way of doing things.
No, but this sounds like the sort of thing you would get asked in a technical interview. Like, because some lead dev will try and catch you out for a scenario that's never, ever going to happen. If you don't know the answer, you won't get the job. But this would be great because you could be like, actually, if you had an event listener, then
that will work.
If people that suffer from this, then who never changed this anyway, we could add an event listener to change it, and then you get the job.
I think you set up the preference in your tools, and your browser just knows about them.
Yeah. So you don't do this like on and off. Yeah. But pro tip before we do our summary though is that if you've ever gone on Twitter and then you see something that catches your eye, but then everything moves down because it scrolls to the top. If you in your Twitter app go into the settings and you find something similar to this, because it's not like the exact same, it doesn't, but it's on top of the system requirements. Anyway, somewhere in the accessibility settings in the Twitter app, you can say that you want less motion, and then it doesn't jump up to the top, and you can actually see what was on the screen when you open your Twitter application. So cool. So John is asking, is this set in the visitor's browser settings? If so, who would know this setting? So
I thought it was an OS setting, like on a Mac.
Yeah. I mean, you would have, so like on an operating system, you would have your accessibility tools. I think browsers could potentially also have their accessibility tools. I'm actually going to,
It's in settings somewhere, I'm sure.
In system preferences, accessibility, and then display on a Mac. Windows also has something, and it's also called accessibility. But I wonder if you can also do it in the browser.
You probably could.
Yeah,
This
you
is
can also
for
go.
anyone who doesn't speak Norwegian. Look
Now,
at this.
now everybody gets to see
Interestingly,
that.
Zoom in Norwegian is also Zoom.
Yes, it is actually.
Great.
Possibility.
What's sarcasm?
That's the screen or display.
I always like to have mine
Oh.
set to sarcasm's interest. That's a good thing.
Oh, Matt Watson is
Oh,
doing.
so
Ah,
thank you so much,
Thanks for your
though.
input,
Thank you so
Meltwater.
much. Yeah, well, I think you can set it on a system level, and I think you can also set it on the browser
Yeah.
level. But the important thing for those of us who don't need it and use it in our daily lives is that we respect it when we make web pages. And the reason is there are different like medical conditions, or just like, it could be just because you don't like the marquee element. No, sorry, but there are medical conditions where it's really bad if you get like flashy moving things happening on screen, especially if you are not aware. You're just clicking in on a page and things are happening, and then you would know how to set this setting if you need it, I guess is the answer. Because he asked, if so, who would know this? Who would know the setting? It's the people who need it would know this setting. Okay, should I do a quick recap? Oh, we need to push this so that it's also on our PR. Add event listener.
So what happened then? Sorry, because I was off being Meltwater on the side. But what happened when you ran the commit? Did you not see anything in your terminal for the prettier stuff?
No, when I ran that, the whole kind of terminal. But now we can test it again. The terminal was just like scrambly.
Oh, because you do the commit. The commit's already happened. You're doing the commit.
Oh yeah, I'm not doing it. I should have done the
pre-commit hook. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
sorry about that, but that's how it is. It is now pushed, so let's do a summary and then have a look at it, and then Ola can do our outro. So today we created a beautiful Live Now badge that we then added to the top of not just every page, but the root of the whole site, so that when you click from one page to another, it just beautifully keeps on scrolling over the page. And we did that in our Gatsby browser by adding it, by wrapping the root element in the fragment and then adding our Live Now badge. And it looks like so. And we even then added the reduce, and now I can't.
Prefers reduced motion.
We listen for that, so that wrong button. There's my button. This was wrong button. So that if we choose to reduce, emulate that, this is the beauty that I wanted. Look at that. The marquee element just like moves across. That's what we did. And we listened for the changes in this I can't even say it when I'm reading it.
Reduced motion.
Reduce. And then we set our state so that our state updates, and depending on if our state is the preferred reduced motion state is true or false, we then render out different elements.
Can I be a complete pain in the B?
Yes, please.
So the state variable that we named,
yeah,
I decided to call it prefers reduced motion because that is what the call is. We are missing a D from that.
Okay.
So we preferred reduced motion and set prefers reduced motion. Sorry to be Mr. Spreadsheets about this, but
I mean, that's who you are.
Yeah, I'm a fun guy.
I didn't think about this at all.
Okay, now we can have a look at your Husky stuff.
Yeah, don't do the commit through VS Code.
I'm doing it now.
Oh, good.
Oh, then I can't have added the.
That's him.
Oh, see, I haven't done this in ages because I always do it in the
git commit message.
Oh, I have to add it to the stage as well. Well, I'm going to do that in my UI like that.
Git add dot star.
Oh, Present didn't say anything.
Oh, what's happened?
I don't know.
Give me a git status. What's happened? Have you staged these changes?
Yeah. Your branch is ahead. Git push to publish.
Okay, so all right.
I don't know what happened to the Husky. Anyway, it didn't mess it up though. The styling, we'll fix that. We need to wrap this up. Ola, are you there for our outro?
Okay. This has been another unauthorized and rum-fueled treasure hunt in the sharky waters around the Gatsby Islands with Gatsby's deep diving queen Raae.
Goal.
And Paul the Navigator.
Nastrovia.
AK.
Cheers.
Ruler of the chat.
Ruler of the chat. Master moderator.
Rule AK. Ruler of the chat.
You know, it sounds too nice. I might get used to this.
Thanks, John.
Yes.
Thank you, John.
Bye, John. Yes. I'm Ola the pirate.
Will you end the broadcast, Ola?
All
Keep
right.
waving. Just keep waving. Just relax. Everyone chill out. Keep waving.